Okay, team. I didn't give any notice to this, so not sure if anyone's gonna be able to jump on or not, but I'm sort of just sitting here laughing a little bit because let me just pull this up so I can sort of set the stage for it a little bit here. For anyone who's not watching or hasn't seen it yet and watches this later on, word on the street is that FTX, one of the large crypto exchanges, is either illiquid or facing major problems, or there's something really big going on there. Sam Bankman-Friedman, major political donor, obviously the CEO of the company. Nate, what's up? Thanks for jumping on. I have to do a quick reaction to this little short video I just made. But look, FTX is one in a long string of many of these companies that seems to run into problems, have death spirals, and find their way to bankruptcy. I think that there is a serious issue in this space. It's not a joke in terms of the fact that like people are losing their shirts on these coins and these cryptos and everything else in between. So I made a short video literally just a few minutes ago. Hey, Cummins, what's up, man? Um, I used to work in Cummins engines, by the way, back in the day. Totally off topic, but I just share that for the comments. Um, I just had to throw this out there. I put up a short video. It was literally 4 seconds long, and it went viral actually right away. Broke 4,000 views in about 10 seconds, which for me is not normal. Delty, thanks for jumping on. But the thing that was amazing is of the 4,300 views in the first minute or two since it came out, I got 72 likes and over 1,000 dislikes on this video. So YouTube, more than likely, it's going to get taken down, or maybe not, but it's looking like they're going to take the video down. So I figured I'd just share some thoughts on this. The comments that I'm getting are everything from "you're obviously an idiot, you don't understand crypto," it's not a scam, everybody uses it, it's widely adopted, you're obviously new, you know nothing, you're dumb, definitely go kill yourself. Lots of really positive comments I'm getting, and I appreciate that. So really nice. But here, team, here's the thing: like, crypto is facilitating scams. I want to give some background. So if you're watching this and you're like, "Oh, an idiot who knows nothing about this," like literally every comment I've gotten on that short video I put out. Just for some background, I originally got into Bitcoin in 2016 in the low hundreds. I held that for a very long time, not quite to the 69K, but definitely did hold for quite some time. I've been in other pieces here and there. I usually jump in, get the profit I'm looking for, get out. I'm not following a long-term viable path here from an investor perspective. But owning it is not enough to claim that you know what you're talking about. So additional to just owning it, I also, you can't see it behind me because it's all taken apart, but I also had built myself a rather large mining setup back in 2017. And so I was also mining Bitcoin, I was mining Ethereum, and I was mining Sia coin back in the day. So again, just to create some degree of legitimacy, I was in early. I was also mining really early. For a third component, for anyone who's still going to make a stupid comment without watching more than 2 minutes of this, for many who know, I worked for a long time at IBM. I am an expert in machine learning and artificial intelligence and analytics. I don't talk about that all the time in this channel, but I thought I'd share it for the sake of it. And one of the projects we were working on was in 2015, working around crypto nodes. So literally, I have owned early, I built early, I've mined early, and I've worked on massive scale projects very early before most people even knew what these things were. So I just want to call that out. Now, with all that being said, the visceral reactions that I get every time I call out that there's something wrong in this space, and it's very, very visceral reactions that, like I said, range from everything to like obviously an idiot who knows nothing, to you are probably brand new and don't know what you're talking about, to you should go kill yourself because you're going to get scammed and everything else. Like, it's all laughable. This is typical for those who don't have channels on YouTube. Pretty standard stuff. But what I wanted to share was this: there is a point that comes in the trajectory of any kind of asset class or idea or technology, okay, where you have to realize at some point that something about the thesis is wrong. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. But before I do, because I think this is a really fair moment to call it out, I'm going to share sort of my thesis long term, and I want to talk about the technology side of it as well. And I'll even talk a little bit about my NFT thoughts as well, because I think it's really important. I think there is absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever with holding, owning, investing in crypto. Okay, full stop. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I just think you have to make sure you understand within your portfolio how much speculative capital you want to apply to crypto assets. I can't make that decision for you. You need to make that decision. You need to know what your level is going to be as far as how much you can put into the investment and whether it's risky or not and how much risk you want to apply within your portfolio. I understand that maybe you want to have an outsized gain. So there's certainly some reason to have it in there. I also think that there's like thousands and thousands of coins and tokens. You probably don't need to focus on really more than 5 or 10, maybe. I'm not an expert in anything beyond the basics, but like for sure, you shouldn't go too crazy. And there's a lot of people who know a lot about this who I think are not trying to scam anyone and genuinely offering education. So please make sure you do that as well. And you check out other folks who really know the space. I don't know they're going to have as deep of a background, but maybe more up to date on what's happening with it. So, look, my long term view on this is that blockchain is a very functionally usable technology that isn't where it needs to be just yet. It's going to be iterated upon, it's going to be further built out and executed on. Okay. So, for the sake of understanding where I'm coming from, it's very important. It's very important to understand that you have to look at this as an ecosystem. There's the technology piece, the blockchain. There is the theoretical non fungible tokens, the NFTs, that could in the future offer long term fundamental operational purposes for owning, holding, or controlling. I'll talk about that in a second as well. And then there's the coins and the tokens. The coins and the tokens are what's being speculated on. That's where that's where the scam lies. The scam is not in the blockchain. The scam is not even in the true meaning of an NFT. Buying a stupid, imbecilic picture and thinking it's worth $10 million, that's stupid. But that's not NFT. That's just a stupid picture being called an NFT. Whether it in the theory of the word, sure, maybe that is in fact a non-fungible token, but the purpose of an NFT could be like a ticket to a game that then gets you access to a back row, which gets you access to a something else, right? Like, could there be something that comes from NFTs? Sure. Is there yet? Not really. I don't think we're quite there yet in figuring out how best to put that out in the market. um, but here's what I've seen in the recent time is like time and time again, these exchanges going all the way back to Mount Gox, they steal people's money, they go out of business and go bankrupt, and then miraculously these people come back somehow and rebuild or do something different. Yet the same cult of followers who I think are part of the scammers, by the way, will attack everyone on any kind of social media or YouTube or anywhere else for that matter, who says, "Hey, look, you got to be careful. There's a scam." And when they say things like, "Oh, it's down 6%. What's the big deal?" It's like, dude, it's not a question of like Bitcoin being down 6%. It's a question of the very exchanges that people use to invest in this to get mass adoption, which is required to make this a real thing, consistently go out of business or go bankrupt or turn into scams where everyone loses their money. Like, I don't get too passionate about too much stuff, but nothing makes me more angry than seeing good people get hurt. And I have watched so many good people get hurt. Like, team, stop getting scammed, right? Like, you've got to approach this the right way. So, we watched this with multiple blowups this past year. We've watched people go from having billions of dollars to nothing. People are on the run. They can't even find some of the owners of these places. And then just today, what really prompted me doing this and what got me kind of pumped up and a little bit, of course, excited, as you can probably tell here, is um, the typical unbelievable negative reaction to my short video I just posted, and the insane comments of people who are literally screaming this, like, there is no fact or proof that you can show me, someone who's very educated on the technology back end, how these things actually work, like the actual process of implementing a blockchain within the workflow of technology, the architecture there within to be able to track across an ecosystem. Okay, this isn't like looking at the price on Robinhood here. No one can give me an actual reason why I'm wrong or why what I'm saying makes no sense or why like this isn't a scam. I just want someone to be able to come out and put it out there using real back end experience of implementing these solutions to explain to me how um, Shiba Diba Ding Dong Kangaroo Coin, for those who remember it, um, you know, there's a reason why any of us can stand these things up in an afternoon, launch a campaign, make a ton of money, and then watch it go to zero the next day because it's a scam. It is the definition of a scam. It is the definition of a Ponzi scam. So today, and I won't belabor my point much further, I will ask for one thing, team. could you just do me a favor and hit the like button? Normally, I don't really ask for that, but like I got so many negatives on that video. I'm actually worried I'm going to get in trouble now. Um, but we watched FTX, which has been bailing out other crypto exchanges, now getting bought out by Binance because that value has gone down to practically nothing. And the word on the street is, I'm not putting this out there as news, but word on the street is that Sam Bankman-Friedman is actually worth very little. It's actually a lot of illiquidity. A lot of his wealth was held in tokens that are now worth practically nothing. So I think it's a major, major, major point of concern for me personally. And I think anyone who's still in this space with a significant amount of money in it, okay, I'm saying this for serious reasons. I'm not giving you financial advice because I don't know your personal situation, okay? There I have no problem holding a very small portion of my portfolio in crypto merely as a yield booster or something that I'm willing to lose a little bit of money on before I hit a stop loss, okay? But my gosh, team, you have got to be able to look at the reality of what's going on in this space and recognize the fact that something is wildly broken because the same thing keeps happening over and over again. I had posted a little while back a video that Bankman Friedman had put out where he essentially described a Ponzi scheme, was asked by the podcast host, well, didn't you just describe a Ponzi scheme? He says, yes. It's not, this isn't like a manipulated media. I did a whole video on it. I did a big talk about it. And I'm only calling this out because I mean, even the description of how these things work, it's like, oh, there's this magical box and we put money in and we shake it, more money comes out the other side. No, team, that's a Ponzi scheme. That's what's being described with a lot of these exchanges. We're earning interest on money that we created out of nowhere that then creates more money to pay me interest. Come on, team. Remember, I was mining and building on these things. So before everyone jumps into the comments and tells me like, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm telling you, you don't know what you're talking about if you don't know what I just said. Um, so one thing I want to call out, there's two questions in the chat here. Explain the FTX crash, and then also, um, is Coinbase decent? So first and foremost, I'm not endorsing Coinbase as an exchange. However, they are much more regulated than than, for example, a non-US exchange. They are SEC regulated. They are a publicly traded company. There's at least some consideration that there's a degree of protection in there. Um, what I would urge everyone to do is if you have money in anything like a Coinbase or somewhere else, just make sure you know what happens if they're ever illiquid. What happens to your money? How do you get it out? What would that look like? Um, and then the other piece of this too, what happens with a lot of these coins that are tied to exchanges? I think this is a really big call out. We just saw this happen with Luna, by the way, and then they stood it back up and it crashed again, by the way, and people lost even more money. Before I give my thoughts on the FTX situation, what I want to say is this: there is a natural psychological event that happens when you lose money. You, of course, want to try to make the money back as quick as possible, and oftentimes we fall into this hole of saying, I'm going to dollar cost average my way into a really bad investment till I can get out of it positively. Sometimes the best thing you can do is exit right away, accept the fact that you're going to have losses, and move into something better that will get you back on the right track of earning, increasing your investments, increasing your portfolio, whatever it might be. Too often we try to save what's broken and we break a lot more on the way down. I don't care if it's equities, real estate, crypto, or anything in between. One thing we preach on this channel for everyone who watches, and I appreciate everyone in the comments, by the way, I see you all there and I really appreciate it. We preach hedging and leveraging stops and taking losses that we can write off. And the beauty of crypto is you can write those losses off as true income. So of course, check with the CPA, but like you can do a lot with those losses in terms of reducing your income or reducing your tax burden. So why the heck not take advantage of it when you can? Now, here's the problem. We have this thing called a death spiral that happens within the crypto space. It technically can happen within any asset class. But in crypto, it happens in a very accelerated way. When there is a perceived notion that the price is going to fall quickly, we start to see a spiraling of acceleration of the fall, where more and more people are running in as fast as possible, trying to pull their money out. There's no one to buy it as it falls, so people keep getting willing to take less and less and less and less and less until it floors out at the bottom. And essentially, unless there is someone at the bottom with ungodly amounts of money to buy up all of the supply, there's just a point of insolvency where you can't get your money out. No one wants the money. I think it's just a good good call out. Okay. That you want to be very careful that you have something built in to protect yourself in the case of a major loss. Now, that said, I don't think that everything is a scam. I don't think the whole thing is a scam. So there's a big difference between a coin that's associated with an exchange that could go spiraling out of control versus like a widely held and off exchange held Bitcoin, for example, right? Like there's certainly a bit more theoretical security there, as far as like the fact that it's widely dispersed, in comparison. And like you can do lots of great things like set up stop losses or limits or trailing stops, all kinds of things you can do in terms of like really protecting yourself. Um, and again, I'm not at all saying you shouldn't have it or you should have it. I'm just saying like the visceral reaction that I get is so silly sometimes. It's absolutely absurd. Um, I just want to call it two Goms in the chat. Love the crash, picked up some nice coins. Like if your conviction and your research has you feeling good about where things are and you want to act on it, I am all for that. I'm 100% through and through a capitalist that I see that, you should have the right to do, buy, act on whatever you want. I just urge people, make sure you double check your convictions and you understand what could happen because the what could happen is a really important thing. Um, Two really big areas that I think just myself personally, even beyond crypto, I've talked about quite a bit. Upstart had earnings today, completely in the toilet. They're now like $15 a share, give or take. And this is one since it was at $100. I've been putting out videos of like, hey, get out of this thing. And then even like now on the opposite side, we've got like Palantir, who had not terrible earnings, but the stock did go down a bit. I looked at that and said to myself, well, hell, I'm buying $7 calls till I'm blue in the face. Oh my God, I just saw the comments. Upstart's at 12. Oh my gosh, that's insane. I feel terrible for anyone who's still holding that. Team, I'm going to end it here. I just want to really leave at the point and make it really simple. What this for me is a major warning sign that I haven't really shared. It's a thesis that I've had for a long time. And finally, the fact that I'm almost nervous, I don't even want to check to see how bad the reactions are. I haven't checked since I started this video. Um, if every time you say something that disagrees with people, if 1,000 people pile in within seconds to tell you that you're wrong, you know nothing, you're totally incorrect, why are people fighting so hard to disprove something you're saying that's based on so much fact? Think about it. Those are the times when I know that I need to protect myself or go short. I'll give you a real true example of this. Real true example. Just saw the correction. $14 Upstart is at right now, not the 12 that I said. Thanks, Nate. When I looked at Upstart at $400, it made no sense to me. At 200, it made no sense to me. At 100, I finally was like, I got to put out a video, and not asking anyone for anything, and just say, look, there is a reason why I am scared out of my mind to ever put a dollar into this company. And it went from, it was a little over 100 at the time down to where it is now in the teens, the low teens. And every time I posted about it, I would get unbelievable, viscerally angry, vile comments. Of course, every one of them, they tag the CEO. This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Team, 22 years in machine learning, AI, starting and selling my own companies, being in technology. You know, I kind of do know some things. I don't know everything, but I know these things. And I think it gets me so concerned when I look at the way people react, and it's very unnatural. It's very unnatural. It actually goes in the face of good common sense. Um, and I think that unfortunately, people get so scared of losing money, they lose money on purpose because they won't get out of a bad position just to prove people that they were right. Don't be that person. Be smart, care about your capital, do the right things. I also want to call this out from Goms in the comments. I'll read the whole question. Do your research, buy solid projects, easy to get slaughtered if you are a short term trader with risky, suspicious projects. You know what? I can't say it better than that. I think that sums up exactly my approach. Do the real research, do the real work, feel good about it, and acknowledge you might not make your money back or you might lose it all. And if you're doing those things and you still feel good about it, that's investing. That's the name of the game. That's okay. But you got to be smart about it, right? And then Cam, who's always always love seeing Cam in the comments. Um, I think Cam has another great point. I'm going to read it because I know I'm not on StreamYard, so you can't see the comments if you watch this later. Don't let biases control your trading. I think that's a big deal as well. And if you don't think that you have biases or you're not sure if you do, it's really easy to put things in like a stop loss or a hedge or find a way to protect yourself until you've been doing this for a long time. You feel very comfortable about it. You feel very comfortable about your ability to execute without the bias built in. So, team, I'm gonna leave it at that. I just want to say thanks everyone for jumping on. I know I never give notice when I do these. I really appreciate you jumping on. I love the questions in the comments. I was thinking about doing. Don't feel like you have to answer this right now. You can hit me up on Twitter or whatever works. I was thinking about doing maybe like an ask me anything around investing, crypto, stocks, real estate, whatever. I don't know if people would be interested in that, but I was thinking like maybe that would be something good. And Nate, the real estate streams are going to be coming back. I had to switch something on Sunday mornings, but that is no longer going to be the case. So I'll be getting the streams on real estate back every week very soon. Those were great. I love doing those, by the way. So I'm going to be bringing those back for sure. And then, by the way, team, just throwing this out, although I really don't ever endorse anything or anyone necessarily, one thing I definitely want to call out is Nate, who's in the live chat, also on Twitter. Nate, drop your handle. If you're trying to build something, Nate is a full stack developer, and I just got to throw this out there. He is currently looking for his next project. So, just if you're looking for someone completely not endorsed or paid or anything like that, I just happen to know him and I've seen some of his work. He's doing good things. Check him out. Give him a holler. I'm just reading the comments here before I call it a day. Okay, cool. Goms, yeah, I hear that. I'll definitely find time to do that. And I'll actually give people a heads up that I'm going to do a live stream. No, Cameron, for sure. Cameron asked, can we ask about past work, other stuff, or only stock market related questions? Yeah. So some on certain things I have what's called MNDAs. So these are mutual non-disclosure agreements I have with certain things. So I'll be very honest if I can or can't answer a question on something. So no problem there. And I think Mark LeBlanc, thanks for jumping in the comments. Independent critical thinking, due diligence is clutch to learn as a trade investor. I mean, bingo, team. This is the smartest folks in the room in this chat right now. It's on you to do the right things, not jump in the herd and wonder why you fell off in the back. So with that, I was going to say it again. I really appreciate everybody jumping in. Really, really appreciate all the great comments and all the love here. Team, I'll be talking to you again soon. I'm going to go and read the insane vile comments that probably hit my screen since I kicked this off. So with that being said, thanks so much. I appreciate you. Good luck out there. Just don't get scammed. Do the research. It's that simple. And with that, everybody, have a good night. We'll see you.